YouTube, what's good, man? It's your boy Darren, the bow tie fragrance guy. We talk about fashion and fragrance on this channel. I don't just talk about fragrance because I think it is as important, probably more important, for you to look your best as well, all right? So if you're into fashion, if you're into fragrance, in other words, looking and smelling great, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell icon as well, so that way, anytime I upload a new video, you'll be one of the first people to get notified. All right, guys, on today's video, we're gonna jump into it, man. I have 10 designer fragrances that I feel like are worth every penny. Now, I try not to include too many discontinued fragrances on this list, but it is what it is. There are a few that are discontinued, but again, these are the best to me. These are the fragrances that are really worth the money. Now, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, it's been well documented that I have somewhat of an issue, all right, with a lot of the newer designer fragrances that have come onto the market. I feel like the designer fragrance brands are doing just cash grabs and being kind of lazy, getting away from any amount of creativity and just giving us flanker after flanker, all right? I'm not gonna keep it going this time, but you know what I mean, flanker after flanker. And to me, it's just kind of watered the whole designer fragrance space down significantly. So I have 10 fragrances, again, that are designers that I still feel like are worth the money. Now, even the designer fragrances that are discontinued, guys, don't pay over $200 for these fragrances, because some people get a little bit carried away just because a fragrance is discontinued and they try to, what I feel like, overcharge for a fragrance. But with that being said, these are 10 of the best. So I'm gonna run the intro, and when we come back, 10 designer fragrances that I feel are worth every penny. If you want to see what I have on the list, you know how we rock. Keep it locked. It rhymes. Right here.
The Bow Tie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. I'm going to jump right into the video. Now, this first fragrance is one that has been discontinued. I do have a backup bottle of this, and I'm sure with all the fragrances that I have, this will last me a lifetime now. But this fragrance is from the brand of Thierry Mugler, and this one is called Pure Havane. Pure Havane. Now, guys, there are some discounted places, and places like eBay, of course. Look at the seller and make sure they're a trusted seller. But where you can find this for around 150 bucks, I would pay that for this, okay? I would pay 150 bucks for a bottle of this. One of the best designer fragrances ever created, probably my favorite designer fragrance on the entire planet. The best way to describe this is like a smoked cherry tobacco or piped cherry tobacco. That's what you're going to get out of this fragrance. Now, they say that this fragrance is very similar to Gerdolf Naxos. There are some similarities, but Naxos is a lot cleaner. That lavender in there makes it a lot cleaner. I really enjoyed this one. All right, I really enjoyed Pure Havane. Again, man, the good old days, man. The great designer fragrances. I wanted to come back. But anyway, this reminds me of the era of time that I got into reviewing fragrances on YouTube, man. I'll never forget, I did the review of this fragrance and I wasn't feeling well. And again, very nostalgic. I love this fragrance, worth every single penny, in my humble opinion. This is from the house of Thierry Mugler, and this is called Pure Havane. All right, the next fragrance that I feel like is worth every penny is from the house of Christian Dior, and this is Dior Homme Intense, or as it is affectionately known here as the DHI. DHI, amazing designer fragrance, man. It really doesn't get much better than this. This is the fragrance line to me that really popularized the note of iris, that very powdery, as some people say, makeup, lipstick kind of note. The powdery irises, this note is what did it, all right? This fragrance, I'm sorry, is what did it. The note of iris in this fragrance, phenomenal. Again, some people say the newer stuff smells comparable. I don't know. I'm good with what I have right here. I was able to get a bottle of this, a bottle of DIOR Parfum as well. And again, can't go wrong with these. If you like powdery fragrances. Again, it has that chocolatey, patchouli kind of thing going on here as well. This is just, stuff is absolutely second level, all right? So just get this one, man, if you can find it. This is the original version of the fragrance. It's worth every freaking penny, in my humble opinion. From the brand of DIOR, this is DIOR Homme Intense. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list, probably my second favorite designer fragrance of all time. This is Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. I know for a fact I'm one of the people that talked a lot about this fragrance early on in its infancy, and when this fragrance came out. Love this stuff. I always talk about this fragrance. I talk about the Kofi, that Indian dessert, that accord that was created in this fragrance with the mastic. Again, just very sweet, great for a date night. There's a slight kind of player, flirtatious thing that's going on with this fragrance that I really, really enjoy. And again, to me, it's just worth every penny. Now, the new iteration of this fragrance is really good as well. I think it's what the Parfum version, but I still think this is my favorite of the two. All right, so worth every penny, definitely in my humble opinion, from the brand of Tom Ford. This is Noir Extreme. All right, guys, the next fragrance that I would say is worth every penny in the designer space of fragrances is this fragrance from the brand of Replica from Maison Margiela, and this is Jazz Club. Jazz Club. Now, honestly, obviously, I'm not going to argue with anybody that puts By the Fireplace on this list as well, because it deserves a spot, although I could only do 10. All right, so I didn't want to have the list inundated with fragrances from the same brand. But this is amazing, guys. This is amazing. There's a slightly boozy rum in this. You get some vetiver. All right, you're gonna get some a little bit of styrax in here as well that comes in on the base, but tobacco, rum are the main notes to my nose, and so a little bit of a sweetness from vanilla bean as well. This thing is absolutely freaking phenomenal. All right, there is no other designer fragrance that really reminds me of this one or that this smells like, and this is really done well. High quality ingredients, home run. Definitely worth every penny in my humble opinion. From the brand of Maison Margiela, the Replica line. This is called Jazz Club. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from a long line and lineage of fragrances. There are probably about 29,000 flankers now from this particular fragrance, but this is the best of them all. From the brand of, from the house of Giorgio Armani, the Acqu Di Gio line, this is Acqu Di Gio Profondo. This is Acqu Di Gio Profondo. Now, I haven't gotten the new Acqu Di Gio Parfum yet. This is one of those brands where I kind of suck it up and I go ahead and get all of the flankers, because generally speaking, they're all very well done. This YSLY, but Profumo. I think this came out around, what, 2016, somewhere around 17, if I'm not mistaken. And what they did was they added incense and patchouli to the original DNA. I mean, there's not much else I can say about how good this fragrance is, but seriously, this is one of the best designer fragrances on the market. It's so versatile, and those new notes added to the versatility of this fragrance. Worth every penny in my humble opinion. From the brand of Giorgio Armani, this is Acqu Di Gio Profondo. All right, guys, if you want to find a great leather designer fragrance, look no further. Your search can end right here. From the brand of Tom Ford, this is Ombré Leather. Ombré Leather, and this is not the Parfum. I think this may be an EDT or EDP concentration. Probably EDP if I'm not mistaken, but this stuff is just absolutely second to none when you talk about leather fragrances in the designer realm. All right, so you get leather, obviously there's a little bit of jasmine in here as well. You're gonna get some patchouli and some oak moss on the dry down. Masculine, sexy leather goodness, worth every penny. Guys, when we start talking about things being worth the money, I know that could be, you know, in the mind or the opinion of the wearer, obviously. But when you talk about, when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about things that are well done. You can tell there's high quality ingredients there. It smells great. Pretty good performance for the most part. Those type things is what I take into consideration, and best in class. This is best in class when you talk about leather designer fragrances. So definitely worth the money. From the brand of Tom Ford, this is Ombré Leather. All right, guys, and I can't do a list like this, honestly, without having a representative from this line as well. From the brand of Chanel, this is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Bleu de Chanel Parfum. To me, this is the best of the three. This is my favorite. All right, you still have the fresh, and that kind of fresh, zesty citrus opening. Got some lemon in here. There's some pineapple in here. There's lavender in here. When it dries down, you get some isoe, super, some tonka bean. Again, talk about blue fragrances. This is the king of them all. And to me, this sophisticated, masculine, woody scent, as I always describe it, when you compare this to the original Bleu de Chanel, they toned down some of the citruses, amped up the woods, which again gives it a more masculine, more versatile scent profile. Worth the money. All right, every penny from the brand of Chanel. This is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. All right, guys, one of the best designer fragrances ever created as well. You can quote me on that. Unfortunately, this one was discontinued as well, but it comes from the house of Valentino. This is Valentino UOMO Intense. My God, guys, this stuff is good. I really cannot articulate it through this camera, but this stuff is phenomenal. Hopefully, some of you guys got into the fragrance game early enough to have a bottle of this in your collection. You know what I'm talking about. All right, centered also around the note of iris, that powderiness that you get from iris. It's just so good, man. Iris and leather and tonka bean. Those are the main notes that you're gonna get from this fragrance. Vanilla are the main notes that you're gonna get from this fragrance. And it's just second to none. Really, really well done. I put this up there with the DIOR Homme Intenses of the world. Phenomenal fragrance. Worth every penny. Again, any of these discontinued fragrances, I still wouldn't spend over $150 for it, but it's definitely worth the price of admission on this one. From the house of Valentino, Valentino UOMO Intense. All right, guys, and another fragrance that is worth every penny to me, again, in my opinion, one of these fragrances from this line had to be represented here, and I'm going with this one as well, from the house of Christian Dior. This is Dior Sauvage Parfum. Dior Sauvage Parfum, not much needs to be said about this fragrance or any of the flankers, but to me, this is my favorite. And yes, it is worth the penny. Sauvage is a little, Elixir is a little on the expensive side, especially for that small bottle, what you're gonna get. So I would definitely go with the Parfum from this particular line, because to me, again, it's the most mature of the Sauvage flankers. All right, not with standing of the Elixir, which I think is a little expensive for how much you're getting. This is the best value right here. Tonka bean, vanilla, Orbanum, Mandarin orange. This is amazing fragrance. Again, you guys know that. You know, it's one of the best-selling men's fragrances over the last 8 years or so. This line of fragrances. So, you know, the proof is in the numbers. I think this one is definitely worth the money. Of course, you guys know what this is, Dior Sauvage Parfum. And last but not least, to round this list out, this fragrance has been around for a long time, but to me, it is still holding its value. I mean, honestly, you can find this discounted pretty much everywhere. And it is simply put, one of the best date night designer fragrances ever created. From the brand of Dolce & Gabbana, this is Dolce & Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum. Dolce & Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum. This is tobacco, this is orange blossom. God, you know what this one is. This one has been talked about a lot. And like I said, with the fact that you can find this discounted pretty much anywhere, you talk about something that's worth the money, this list would have been incomplete without this fragrance being represented. Again, regardless of price, regardless of scenario, wherever you may wear this fragrance, I think this is still just one of the best designer fragrances ever created. All right. So I love this fragrance. You can find it for about 40 or 50 bucks in most places, and that's stealing. From the brand of Dolce & Gabbana, this is the one Eau de Parfum. But that is it, guys. That is my time. What are some fragrances you have in your collection, designer fragrances that is, that you feel like are worth the money in this new fragrance space where we are inundated with flanker after flanker? What are some fragrances you have in your designer collection that you feel are worth the money? I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. And as always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. Then don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.